Estamos en el International Center de Toronto, donde vamos a entrevistar a Vladimir Reznik, que es el director ejecutivo de PanaExpo. PanaExpo vendrá a Toronto el 24, 25 y 26 de abril, y este va a ser nuestro próximo segmento. We are right now at the Toronto International Center. This is the location where PanaExpo will take place from April 24 to April 26. Last year, PanaExpo was very successful. It had the participation of about 32 professionals and entrepreneurs from Panama that came to Canada to offer the products, to show the products. And at this moment, we are with Vladimir Reznik. We thank you very much for being here with us today.
Thank you so much, Lida, for having me here.
Vladimir is he's the executive director of PanaExpo, and he's very well known for his great experience and knowledge in the Canadian and Panamanian real estate. Vladimir, we understand that the purpose of this trade show and this conference is to promote the investment in real estate, tourism, and also retirement in Panama. Panama is nowadays a very good place to think of investment. But the main purpose, I think, is to show the name of Panama and its culture. How is this going to happen in this trade show?
Thank you, Lida. Panama Festival and Expo is a very unique blend of trade show, conference, and festival. And the reason we do it this way is because we are promoting not just the investment and not just the real estate and the economy of Panama, but we are promoting Panama as a country. There are many different real estate or investment economies in the Caribbean and Central America, and Panama has so much more to offer, and this is why we're doing it by way of this blend of conference and trade show and a festival, showing the culture, showing the people of Panama, showing many other benefits that this country has to offer. Panama is a very privileged country in a way that of its geographical position, dollarized economy, Panama Canal. It's become the financial center and the logistics center and the trade center of the Western Hemisphere. And it's privileged in a way that it has been least affected by the economic crisis. And so is Canada, even despite our great integration with the United States economy. We are happy to observe that Canada has been one of the countries in the world that has been least affected by the global economic crisis. And the global economic crisis or recession is not about there's no more money in the world. It's the fact that the money just doesn't move where it used to move. So the PanaExpo show is about giving other alternatives, giving opportunities to people that are interested in investment, that have the possibility of making an investment. And perhaps the investment doesn't move that far in the United States anymore. Perhaps it doesn't move that far in other economies, but in Panama it does have a lot of potential. And that's what this exhibition is all about, is to showcase the opportunities that exist in two countries and the relationship between our two countries that are still fairly stable and viable economies.
That's what we wanted to talk about. We want you to explain that special relationship between Canada and Panama when it comes to commerce and trade. When did it start and why is it so special?
Well, that's very interesting. Panama and Canada are so far apart and at the same time so similar. Both Panama and Canada has access to Pacific and Atlantic oceans and a lot of trade that comes as a result of its geographical position. But the relationship between Canada and Panama had not always been very close in economic terms. In a couple of years leading to the free trade agreement negotiations, which is now underway and it's proceeded to the third round between Panama and Canada, the trade between the two countries had increased by 44%. And now it amounts to about $100 million in bilateral trade between the two countries. Now, we're not talking about a nation such as United States and Brazil and Russia or China. We're talking about a small nation with 3 million population and another one with 30 million. So to have a bilateral trade increase to such an extent, it signifies that the relationship is getting closer, and the two countries are discovering opportunities of how we can develop this relationship further. So now, as a result, we had a first international event. We had a first PanaExpo event last year, and we showed that there is a lot of interest from Canadians going to Panama and vice versa. What Panama offers to Canadians is opportunity to come, is a logistical platform that is like no other. Panama has the infrastructure, the dollarized economy, the access to Panama Canal. And for retirees, Panama offers a lot of benefits and tax incentives and government-regulated discounts like no other country in the world. It's been a retirement haven like no other. Some places in Panama, like Boquete in the mountains, have been called one of the best places to retire in the Western Hemisphere. And real estate is fairly cheap. The cost of living is fairly inexpensive. And a lot of people, I mean, in Canadian culture, we have it that once you retire, once you reach certain age and social status, you get an apartment in Florida or you get an apartment in Mexico, like a cottage. But a lot of people, they don't want to go to Florida anymore. And Panama is like, imagine Miami Beach, but without the hurricanes, without the United States visa restrictions, and without the tax. And that's what this is all about. And also, what Canada offers to Panamanians is again, it's a vast market in the North America with a lot of opportunities. Again, due to the fact that Canada is one of the countries now that has been least affected by the economic situation in the world.
We were talking before that not only Canadians are interested in going to Panama and retire, also Latin American people that have been in Canada for a long time, they want to retire and they don't want to go to their countries, like not necessarily to their countries to retire. Why Panama is becoming an attractive place for them? Like why they wouldn't go back to their countries and retire? Let's say if I am from Colombia, I wouldn't choose Colombia to go and retire. I would choose Panama, which is what is happening with a lot of Latin American people. Why this is becoming so attractive?
Well, that's a very interesting question too. I see that a lot, and I see a lot of comments like that. A lot of people here from Latin America and all different parts of it, and after 5 or 10 years, realizing that life isn't what they had imagined when they were trying to get out of their countries, but now that they have achieved certain economic level by working very, very hard here in Canada and coping with the weather and a new culture and trying to get their kids and themselves to master English and so forth and all the other difficulties now. And then perhaps these folks, they don't want to go back to their home country if the home country is Venezuela or Nicaragua or Dominican Republic for political or for economic reasons. But Panama offers a stable democratic environment. It's a stable democracy. It's dollarized economy. It's a place where a lot of opportunities exist for people that are looking for either employment or small businesses booming. It's a very privileged country in the sense that still in many different sectors of the economy, the demand still exceeds the supply of product and services, and the opportunities exist. And when a Latin American person or a Latin Canadian person moves down to Panama, and the immigration laws make it easy for them to do so, and you move there with a little bit of money, you can open a business and you can succeed in a business that would be much more difficult for you to succeed here in Canada. And so I think that's the reason. And also the culture. You're going back, perhaps you don't want to go back to Colombia, perhaps for the reasons of safety. Perhaps you don't want to go to Dominican Republic or Cuba or Venezuela for political reasons or again for the reasons of economic reasons. But then when you go to Panama, politically it's a safe place, it's a democratic country. Economically it's a very viable economy. And the culture and the language, you go back to Spanish-speaking culture, you understand and you are more familiar with it, and it's more comfortable for you and your children. And that's the reason why we see that a lot of Latin Canadians choosing to go and reinvent themselves in Panama as well.
Okay, Vladimir, just an invitation for our viewers to come to the trade show.
Panama Festival and Expo is taking place here at the International Center, Hall 4. On April 24 to April 26 of this year. And the information and free tickets are available at the website, which is www.panaexpo.com. Thank you.
Thank you. I will wait for you. Thanks.